Two childhood sweethearts reunite after being separated for nearly 20 years. How has life treated them individually over that time? Is this even right since one person is married? We look into all of that and more when we discuss past lives.
I'm Matt.
I'm Chad. Thank you so much for clicking on this. You're listening to the 127th episode of We Used to Talk About This at Work. All right, Matt, we are back at it. Just you and me. So that means that this is going to be a quick one.
They know they like those quick episodes.
we know we do.
Right.
So before we get into the show proper, I'm sorry, audio only listeners. Matt, what are you laying on?
I'm laying on a gigantic Mario mushroom. It's nice and soft, plushy.
Oh,
Um,
that's the extra man.
yeah. So the other day, my son wanted at the crane games out at the stores and stuff. It's the bigger one. Normally they cost 100 yen,
That's a
a
dollar. Okay.
yeah, dollarish. But this one is 500 yen, so $5 for one try.
Okay. Ooh.
So he tried once because he wanted a monkey. The wife wanted this one, so he tried once, didn't get it. He was like, he'll try one more time, and the wife was like, "This is the last time because ten
Right.
dollars." But then when he hooked this one, he got the paw of the monkey. So, and the monkey's big, just like this too. It's bigger than this actually. And he got both of them, and everybody around was watching. It was like, ah, they was all excited and everything. It was good. He's lucky. He usually gets these.
Did your wife record it?
No, that's the same thing I asked too. No.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like $5. I'm like, I could see doing it the first time, but like I wouldn't roll the dice on the second.
No, no, I wouldn't have. But he has been lucky. Like I won't say 9 times out of 10, maybe four times out of 10, he'll get something at each one. But me, I've never gotten anything out of a crane game before.
I can't recall winning one either.
Because now, like, I forget what kind of stuff they have in the States, but here you can get like action figures, phones, a lot of plush stuff.
It depends on what kind, cause like it's a variety. Like some places you go, it's just like, oh, here's a stuffed animal, and then other ones, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the ones with like the little key on it. So instead of like it being a hook, like you're moving a device and it has a key on the end, and then you try and get it in the lock. And that's
Yeah.
and in those ones you can win like, oh, here's an iPhone or a PlayStation 5 or something like that.
Yeah, they have that too, and they have one where it's like you have like scissors type thing, and you have to move the string to get it in
Oh,
there to cut
I've
it
never
like
seen that
that.
before.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
never win anything, so
I
it's
mean,
okay. It's
it's
all for
just
fun.
it gives scam to me.
Always until I see somebody win, and I'm like this. Damn,
That should have been
it
me.
could have been me,
Right.
right?
But all right, so what you been watching? Actually, before we do that, let's talk about what we were trying to do before we started the show. So
Oh,
we
which
both
which which thing? We were trying to do multiple things.
yeah.
FaceTime, Plex, which one?
So we both updated our Apple TVs, and the latest update, you can do FaceTime over Apple TV. So like let's say you got a friend and you're like, oh yeah, let's watch this is really only gonna for real work with like Apple shit. Oh man, let's watch the latest episode of the morning show. What's
The morning show.
yeah.
There was a clip. Sidebar. There's a clip on the morning show. Never mind, because forget what I just said. Let's keep it rolling. I'll show it to you after fact.
Okay. We're gonna forget, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's watch the morning show together. So like the show would be playing like normal, but like in the bottom corner, like there would be a video of me on Matt's screen. and like the video is coming from like my cell phone, and so you can watch it together. And
They can never let me be great.
no, it's too many things are like pushing against us. But yeah, so we tried the Apple TV thing, and Matt's internet said, "Fuck this," and
Yeah, and then my headphones went out too. It was like too much technology going on. One of the shit ain't gonna be keep going.
don't ask me to do anything else tonight. Fuck off.
Right.
So we tried. So you were watching something on Netflix though?
No, I happened to come across the new Netflix trailer for the Squid Games game show thing.
Okay, I thought they already did this.
That was Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast did this already.
Gotcha.
So I was reading through the comments and it made sense. Like, cool, wait, let me before I start. Are you interested or excited about this?
No,
And why is that?
I didn't really watch the show, and also like what was Squid Game like 2 years ago?
Something like that, probably more.
So it's like I don't care anymore. Like I kind of cared when the hype was going on, but like now, like so many years removed, like how have they not had like a season two or a spinoff and as much time in between? You know what I'm trying to say?
Right, right.
Like at the very least, a spinoff. It's like you're letting that buzz die off.
Um, I agree. And plus, the point, not the point, the benefit of Squid Games is, what was the plot of Squid Games?
You play these games to get money.
And if you don't, or if you don't succeed, what happens?
You die.
Right, motherfuckers was dying, and there was a storyline. Basically, this is just regular people playing kid games. We
Yeah.
know nobody's dying. Sure, they can manufact a storyline because it's reality TV type of thing, but nobody's dying, so none of these risks really matter.
Squid Game came out September 17th, 2021.
Okay, 2 years ago.
That doesn't sound right at all.
I don't remember. All this shit runs together on me. That
Yeah,
makes sense because in October because that was at the end, and then everybody had the Squid Game costumes. That's probably tracking.
I mean, but like if something hits like early in the year, they're gonna carry it over, you know?
Right. But that was probably at its right when it came out. It was at its highest height of
Yeah.
popularity.
I
But
really
I
thought
just
it
feel
was
like
earlier in the year.
this is not going to do good because there is no sure people want to watch it, but it's not going to have like you said. It's been 2 years, and like I said, Mr. Beast has already done this. So and I don't know how many episodes this is, but there to me, where's the drama at? Since nobody's dying, you're just gonna be watching adults playing red light, green light, and maybe get shot by a paintball gun or something. If that's it, I don't know how they're gonna do it.
So my question is, I no, I know you've only seen the trailer, but based off the trailer, can you tell like if this is going to be a game show where each episode there's new contestants, or if you follow the same contestants to the end? Could you tell
They don't
that
even
from the
show that.
trailer?
No, you can't even
Okay.
tell. Like the only thing they showed was basically the dress or the character style of the people in the mask, them wearing the uniform, and like the first game was a red light, green light with a big doll. They showed that in a thing. So basically, that's all they showed. They didn't give no kind of context. They didn't linger on anybody like they was about to be a star or anything. So that part I don't know.
Okay. If I were to guess, I would say it's going to be like a Survivor or a Big Brother where, there's eliminations and stuff and you're following the same group to the end.
Well, I mean, that's
Yeah.
how Squid Games is. It's you get 100 people, they're gonna be eliminated. So then you follow the show had a storyline, so you follow multiple ones, but they had their main stars. But it's probably gonna be the same thing like that too.
So I played a game, Matt. Look at me. Um
You had time for that. I'm proud of you.
I know, man. I watched the podcast movie like Wednesday.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was trying to be productive and stuff. And also I was excited to see it. But anyway, so I played this game called Packing Up. And it's been
Hmm.
something on my radar for like the last year or so where it's like one of those like indie games where it's like you got to do stuff, but it's not really that stressful. So
Hmm.
basically each level you're following like a faceless female character, and
Hmm.
like there's no dialogue at least so far in the game, and like any story you surmise is like from context clues. So the very first level of the game, you are in a dorm room and you're unpacking her boxes from her home, and you're like you basically you open the box and like pull something out, and it might be like a stuffed animal or a keyboard for her computer, and you're just supposed to like
Put it where it
unpack,
goes.
yeah, unpack. And so it's like some stuff, yes, it has a specific place like the computer. But then like other like little trinkets, you can put those kind of where you want, you know, like you can put them on the desk or the dresser or the drawer, you know.
Hmm.
So I don't know, it's kind of neat. And then it's like there are some things where like if you're like, oh yeah, she has like a crock pot or whatever, and I'm gonna put that under the bed, and like by the end of the level, like when once you unpack everything, the game be like, no, no, bro, put that
You
that
know where
just
the fuck this goes.
right, this
Stop
does not
playing with
go
me.
here.
Right.
So I'm on the third level. So on the second level, she's like not in the dorm anymore. It's like years later. Like it tells you what year it is. And like it
Hmm.
looks like she got her first little studio apartment. And then the last thing I played was the third level where she's moved in with somebody. I'm not sure if it's romantic because the other person is a woman, because like there were like already when we were unpacking in the bathroom, like there was like tampons and stuff. So
Hmm.
it might be like her best friend, or maybe she's a lesbian. I don't know. So like so each level things are getting bigger. So like in the second level, you had a bathroom and a kitchen to work with. And so in the third level, you had bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, living room, dining room to unpack.
And how much stuff is in each of these boxes?
So some of the boxes like really big, but like it's not like a counter, and I haven't counted, but like it's like just I wouldn't say it's random shit, but it's just like it kind of makes sense of what's in the box. Like this box has
So
like,
on the first level where it was just the dorm room, like you had to take a number, how much stuff you did, how much would you say?
oh man, it was probably like maybe 20, 30 items, but some of them were like
Okay.
small because she had like action figures and shit that you had to like put on shelves.
Okay. So it's a whole like room type things.
Yeah. But then it's
Okay.
also like sometimes like you'll be unpacking the living room, like getting the DVDs out, and then like when you click on the box, instead of a DVD pop out, instead of a DVD coming out, like a shoe will come out. So then you need to flip over to the bedroom to put the shoe in the
For
bedroom.
this. Okay.
But yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
that
kind of
seemed like some like mindless, entertaining
yeah.
stuff to do. Yeah.
So it's like something where you could play it and also like have some music on or listen to a podcast or something where it's like I wouldn't say it's like a stress reliever, but it's like it's just something nice and chill where it's like I want to play a game, but I don't want to think about this too hard.
Right. I don't want the strategy of,
Yeah.
man, I have to cross this bridge to fight this dragon.
What let me follow his fight move, like the pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of
So
that.
yeah.
But I recommend it. It's on literally everything. I'm playing it on PlayStation 5, but it's on everything. It's even on mobile. So I recommend that. Um, what I don't recommend is Outlaw Johnny Black. This is the latest
No,
Mike.
don't say that. Don't say that. I have high hopes for that.
This is the latest Michael Jai White movie. I saw it in the theater Tuesday, and I had high hopes for it because it had like a Black Dynamite but a Western
Yeah.
vibe, but it's
Yes.
not that funny, and it's trying to be funny too hard, and it's like you can tell like that he didn't have a lot of money because it's like on some of the shots like where he's like on horseback and it's like you clearly are not on a horseback, or like this shootout is like
Wait,
the
is that part of the joke, or it was like they didn't have the money, so they did it that way?
I feel like the bigger issue is they didn't have the money because it's like some of the shots were not like positioned well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's a comedy, but like it's not that funny. Like there's funny parts to it,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's not a well-oiled machine like a Black Dynamite. And then
No.
it's like the like some of most of the Native Americans in the movie aren't played by Native Americans. And at first I thought that was a joke, like trying to like do commentary on that, like, oh yeah, back in the day when they did these, but I'm like, maybe this isn't a joke. Like, I don't know what's happening here. And then it had like so many storylines. Like they had like, oh man, Johnny Black has a revenge plot. And then like, oh man, we had a little bit of what's that? Blazing Saddles, where like he goes to a town and the people think he's one person, but he's not. And then he has a love triangle thing. And then it's like, oh man, there's a secret treasure somewhere. It's like it just kept adding storylines. And I'm like, be more focused. And then it kept cutting away to these long ass flashbacks. I'm like, my dude, you need to have cut a lot of this shit. Like it that like some of the shots like lingered too long. And then also, Matt, they got their wigs from Tyler Perry.
So there's a comedian that I follow on Instagram called Tony Baker. Most people might know him for he does like a lot of animal voice things or whatever. He's funny. He's in it. He's been promoting it, and he's bald, but he showed like his part of it, and yeah, his wig was horrible.
All the
But I
wigs are
thought I was thought like that was part of the joke of it. Like they know that like you coming in there, you know that this is a low budget type of thing.
is honestly, I'm like, I'm so surprised that it got a theatrical run. Like this is something that should have went straight to like Prime or like not a Hulu. They have standards somewhat. I don't want to say like a Tubi. I don't want to put them out there like that. But like
It's above that.
it's above a Tubi, but like you know what I mean when I say Prime, because like they'll take anything on Prime.
Right, right.
But well, not Tubi level, but like they'll take most things on Prime. But like this shouldn't be on like a Netflix, in my opinion.
And that could be another thing too, where like I know they have a lot of I don't say social media famous, but like a lot of comedians and stuff that's on social media are in it to where like if it was on a streaming platform, I think they could have pushed that out more heavily, maybe more views. But we'll see once it comes out, see how it does.
Yeah. But yeah, that I was I was really looking forward to it, but that wasn't it, man. That was not it. Lastly, we can talk about this, but I might cut this. But I want to talk about like how and we're victims. We are perpetrators of this too, where part of the podcast game, right? It's like I guess let's get truly candid. So I never wanted to do a video podcast. I
Mm-hmm.
like the audio aspect of it, I have all this equipment for a good audio based podcast. But like that's not really where the market is, the trends and stuff. Like
And
just
I agree. Like I don't like my voice, but strictly audio because I'm not that attractive, so I prefer to be behind the camera.
okay. I think you're handsome.
Hey man, that side note, that's what I'm reaching for. I want those comments to be like, nah, man, you cute, you sexy. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, okay. Nah, man, you
They
ugly.
gonna come back and be like, nah, you right. I mean, now you right, you ugly.
You're right, my dude.
Right. Now
so
I'm gonna
like
be
that
sad.
so that's the game, right? So like we got to do a video podcast. Like we have to have a presence on YouTube, and since we are a video podcast as well, we have to be, I wouldn't say funny, but like we have to have like marginally interesting clips to try and draw people in. And you got to put that shit on YouTube and Instagram and fucking TikTok. I don't know. I'm not really on Twitter or X. Or do they put like podcast clips on that?
Not really. I
Okay.
mean, yes. And now I'm glad you brought this up. Now, with the whole anybody can be verified and now you can make money off of it and everything. What I've seen lately is that people are not really trusting people who are okay, because like for example, you have a person who's verified, and they get paid off of their clicks and likes and all that attention stuff. I forget what it's called, but basically now you have all
Verification.
these, well, not verification, but like now you have people just making random wild stuff just to get people to click, negative or positive. So it's kind of like, um, I can't name a celebrity. I don't know.
Oh, Joe Rogan, because he has a podcast.
Okay, Joe Rogan. It's like, oh yeah, Joe Rogan says that on his latest podcast that he thinks all black people should go to Africa, right?
Okay.
So then all these people will comment on it and everything like that, even though it's a lie or something like that. But that doesn't matter because people are just saying stuff just to get the attention because they're getting paid off the likes and all the stuff that they're getting. So now if I see anybody say anything and they got like a Twitter thing, I don't even pay attention to them because I feel you're just doing this for like specifically just to get negative reactions or reactions in general, just so you can get paid.
Right. Okay. Yeah, they kind of stirring the pot unnecessarily.
Right. But it's not, I mean, you have some clips, but it's kind of like the bigger ones. Like you said, the Joe Rogans, the
Breakfast
um
Club or whatever.
Breakfast Club stuff, like the bigger ones you see clips, but like in our neck of the woods that on our Twitter, it's like, nah, this is like a picture or whatever. Hey, whatever, whatever. Like that's not a lot of video.
Okay. So like that's part of the game, right? You can't just have an audio podcast. You got to have videos. You got to push those clips out. You got to push them at a regular, you know, um, pace. And then also like I'm not sure if you pay attention to any of the people that we follow on our podcast page, specifically the YouTuber that is local to St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
So like his content, like he's like doing little shorts where he's like, it seems like some of them, or he's recording those like a mini review of something specifically for shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like so much fucking content you got to put out there to try and get people to fucking watch your shit. So I was, scrolling, and I came upon a clip from a podcast where they were on some wild shit. Like they they were making some commentary about religion, um and
Mm-hmm.
also historical events. I'm not going to get into specifically what they said, but you remember what I sent you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they was on some wild shit. And so I was like,
Yes.
I,
100%.
so rarely do I listen to podcasts off of clips, but I'm like, this conversation is so wild. I need to know what happened. Like, what led up to this? How do we follow this up? And so I'm listening to the podcast. And I'm like, this is kind of interesting. Like the guest that they had, she's like a comedian slash contortionist. So like she incorporates all that into her shows, and she's talking about how like both of her parents are magicians, but not magicians. They're corporate magicians, which means that like, let's say like a GM, they would get hired to like, oh man, we're having like a retreat for the executive board. So you're gonna do some magic, shit like that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And so like the woman was interesting, but then like this is like an hour and a half podcast, and like from the clip that they posted, the wild shit that they was talking about happened like with 10 minutes of the episode left. And like everything that they talked about in regards to this wild shit that they were talking about was in the clip. And so like as soon as they hit like the punchline, they just went on to some other shit. And I'm like, I feel bait and switched right now.
100% you were. They got you. But that's what they wanted though.
I mean, not they, that's what this
I mean, that's what
is.
right. I mean, even for us, like when we post like a clip or something, it's hope that the listener, whoever watching it, enjoys that little clip. Let me tune into a full episode and to see if I like the thing.
Also, honestly, sometimes I will put clips online from stuff that I cut, because I remember I made a clip about something, and then somebody messaged me saying, "Hey, I listened to that episode that just came out, and that what you said in that clip wasn't in the episode." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I cut that out of that." Cause I'm like, that was funny, but like it doesn't really fit for what the episode was about.
Right. At
So
least we get feedback. That's good. We appreciate that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's the nature of all this. But like if we could just do audio and do well, I love that so much. But
Yeah,
that's not
100%.
that's not the nature of this.
Right. No, not at all. Because it's even like even think about now, like radio personnel, like radio people, they're broadcasting their stuff on YouTube. There is no behind the camera radio. I don't want to see your face type of thing no more.
Right. And even like the other things like on so Google's weird about like podcast stuff, but like in YouTube music, that's why we have to kind of like tag our shit like differently now when we upload to YouTube to say it's a podcast because like it'd be like, oh, okay, here's your podcast. We used to talk about this at work. And so when you go into YouTube music and you're listening to a podcast in the app, there's a button you can hit to switch it to the video so you can watch the video too instead of just listening to the audio. And then
Oh,
Spotify has something like that too, but you have to upload your podcast through Spotify. You have YouTube Music installed on your phone?
no,
Okay, I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
honestly, I thought you said Apple Music.
No, no. So it's like everybody's really pushing like video, and I'm like, cool, I guess.
Because and that's another thing is it's weird to be like how many people like this is my personal thing is like how many people are listening to podcasts on YouTube?
Oh, well, you remember when we first started and like everybody was all like, "Oh, put it on YouTube," and then how many
Right, but I'm
fucking
just
clicks do
like
we
have
get?
you right, how many like how all my podcasts I listen through is like the podcast stuff, Apple and all the other
Yeah.
stuff, but I don't know if you listen to podcasts, not just ours or anybody's. I'm just curious, like, why do you listen on YouTube versus all the other platforms? I'm just curious.
I mean, I guess to some degree, like most podcasts, you have to be video. So like to like see the person's faces and shit, maybe like their reactions.
Okay, I get that. I get that. So now I'm kind of curious. Now, are you with these the people who do watch it? Are you actually watching like for the reaction, or are you just like got it on YouTube and you're just listening to it like regular stuff now?
I can see them doing that, and then like something crazy happens, and then you rewind it, and then you actually look, and then
Right,
go about whatever you're doing, maybe.
right.
But I don't know. This is I don't know, like the pattern, like people's viewing habits are really interesting to me, but it's like we hardly ever get feedback. So when people are like, "Oh yeah, I listened to your show," or "I will listen to your show," I always ask like, "What? How did you listen to it?" And
Mhm.
most of the time they answer incorrectly and say the player on the website, and I'm like, "We can't track analytics that way. Don't do
Right.
that."
Go to specific ones. All right.
Yes, we need your age and gender. Wait, we need your age and sex information. Yeah,
Yes,
gender is not an appropriate word anymore.
that's a society construct.
Correct. But all right, no more lamenting about podcasts and all this stuff. We're gonna get to do that in a couple of weeks when we have another guest, a guest in the industry on.
Yes,
But all right, you ready to take us home?
yes.
This week we discuss past lives.
There's a word in Korean, inyeon. It means providence or fate.
Do you believe in that?
That's just something Koreans say to seduce someone.
What a good story this is. Childhood sweethearts who reconnect 20 years later and realize they were meant for each other. In the story, I would be the evil white American husband standing in the way of destiny.
Shut up. He was just this kid in my head for such a long time. I think I just missed him.
Did he miss you?
Haesung!
Nora and um Bae Hey Song. Nora and Hae Song, two deeply connected childhood friends, are split apart after Nora's family immigrates from South Korea. 20 years later, they are reunited for one fateful week as they confront notions of love and destiny. So I'm gonna take the lead on this one. So I have a lot of conflicting thoughts about this movie because like part of my issue is I had an idea of what this movie was going to be before I saw it, and it didn't turn out that way. Like I thought this movie would be like we have like a little prologue at the beginning of them as kids in Korea, and then she leaves, and then we jump to 20 plus years later, and she's living her life, and then dude tries to reconnect with her, and like that's the first time they've had any interaction. But like this
That was my
movie,
thought too.
right? And so this movie is actually like we had like a good like maybe 15, 20 minutes when they were kids. And then like this movie is like each act is its own segment of the movie. So the first act is them in Korea. And then the second act, when they're in college, they're college age. So like 12 years later, they reconnect, but it's an online relationship. And I'm like, oh, okay. And like it doesn't work because like at least my, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. She got frustrated that he really wasn't making an effort to actually commit to be with her as in because he was like focused on work. And I get what his end goal was. Like when he's an adult, you kind of get what he was trying to do. But like she's like, hey man, how long will it be before you actually came to visit me? Like, what are we doing here? Why are we just talking in the screen? And he's like, oh, it's probably not gonna be for another year and a half, 2 years before I can actually come to America. And she's like, okay, well, I don't want to do this anymore. And then they don't talk again for like another 12 years. And at this point, she's
I
married. Hmm.
I took it is she because she also said that she wouldn't be able to see him for another year, and he was happy of doing the phone calls, doing the stuff like that. She wanted she I don't want to say this. I was about to say she wanted more, but the thing
She
is she
did.
wasn't going to see him. But the only thing is, because she said she couldn't see him for a year. The only thing is, she was deep. She was thinking more deeply into this because she says that she, instead of focusing on other stuff, she's looking up flights to Korea and everything.
Hmm.
So she wanted more, but she wanted him to come. And he's
Well,
like, "Well, I'm doing my thing too."
I read that scene as her being like, well, I wouldn't be able to come for a year and a half. It's her, I wouldn't say petty, but like, because if she looking at flights to Korea, I feel like she could have just left. Like, I feel
So
like
she
she,
said, like, oh, she was just upset. Talking about, oh, I same here for me. I can't see you like that too.
right. Right.
Okay.
That's how I read that. I'm not saying that's right, but like, no, like I totally get where she's coming from. Like, what is the point of us having this online relationship? Like, I'm not dating anybody else and shit. You not dating anybody else, but we through a screen. Like, what are we doing? What is this? Like,
Well, I'm
what are
saying, what are you supposed? I mean, what do you expect? You expect for either one of them to drop what, like you said, they're in college or whatever, and stuff like that, to where they're supposed to drop what they're doing and come see each other.
I'm not saying neither one of them.
Also, they're in college, so these plane tickets are expensive.
Her parents have money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm not saying that neither one of them should have moved, but it's just like, how long do you want to push the can down the road on a long distance relationship? With like,
But
and all you're doing is talking. Like, I want to feel the person, I want to touch the person. Like, you're in a relationship of a sorts. There are certain things you would like, and I'm not just saying sex.
well, no, I agree with you, but then that's where a deeper conversation needs to be had. It can't be, hey, when are you coming here? I can't come here, whatever, and then be like, okay, forget it, we're done. It needs to be a real conversation. Be like you said, I feel like this, blah blah blah, or like you said, if this is not working or whatever, and make, because think about it, if you really enjoy this person or whatever, and like you said, there hasn't been no physical, this is just us talking, why can't we still do this occasionally? It don't have to be, okay, cut off now, I'll see you 2 years from later, if maybe that's it.
I mean,
It just, we can agree that this long distance if we're boyfriend and girlfriend, we can agree that this boyfriend girlfriend thing is not working. But if you really enjoy my time and things like that, let's take a pause on this, and we can still talk. It don't have to be like every day like we've been doing, but it can't be okay. Let's just cut off, and I see you again 12 years later.
Or they know when they see each other again. But no, I mean, I get where her wanting to like just cut things off because like that would be even more painful. Like I essentially have fallen in love with you all over again, and we can't get this shit together. It hurts to talk to you because I love you, but this isn't going to work. So you need that space for that shit to cool down.
But also, they didn't say that to each other. Look, maybe that would mean something if you said that I love you.
I'm reading and I'm reading some stuff into her.
Oh
I
no, and I
think,
agree with you.
yeah,
I agree on that part. But I'm saying like that goes back to what I was saying in the conversations. You need to be truthful and heartful when you in these relationships. Just be sure it might hurt or whatever if they say I don't love you back, but you need to be truthful because and honest. This man spent 12 years looking for you, finally connects with you, and then now you're like, all right, if you're not coming to see me, we out.
what was the point of looking for her for 12 years if all you want to do is chat?
That's all he can do is chat right now.
She has the money to come see him and vice versa. But no, so my thing was I get what he was doing because he kind of mentioned it in the third part about like him not being at a high enough station in life as he would like. And so I
Mm-hmm.
felt like what he was doing was like, I'm going to focus on school. I'm going to be the best that I can. I'm going to get a good job so that in my mind, I am worthy of this woman. I think that's what he was trying to do. But once more, I do agree with you. They didn't necessarily have all the conversations that they needed to have. But just because they were in college doesn't mean that they weren't like immature and stupid.
Right, right.
So though, I mean, so like I'm kind of torn because it's like I like many parts of this movie. I did not I wasn't expecting that middle part to happen. So like I felt like some of the stuff in the end lost some impact because like they were Facebook friends still. She saw he had a girlfriend. He knows she has a husband and like seen all the stuff and looked at her wedding pictures and stuff like to me, if this was like I'm coming in cold and I'm getting all this information at one time as a whole fully fledged adult, would have been a more interesting movie as opposed to they were still somewhat in each other's lives, just in the background.
Right. I agree. Especially when the third act, when the husband gets introduced and everything
Yeah,
and all of that stuff to where it's
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 awkward.
a lot. Yeah. So speaking of the third act to where he finally does come and everything. So now if you was a husband and but good on her. And this is what I'm saying. Good on her. She explained everything to him. It wasn't just out the blue, some random dude, and he has to find out about who he was. She explained everything to him. How would you feel about not only well, you can't stop him from coming, but you can't stop her for going, but like to be basically on board with it, sure, this you do what you need to do type of thing. Would you be like that? Or would you be like, I wouldn't want you to see him?
I felt exactly like he felt. Like I 100% got where he felt because you're in a rock between a rock and a hard place because you're like, I don't like this shit. Like I know it's petty to be jealous of this shit, but like this is literally her childhood sweetheart. How can I compete with that? Also, he's actually Korean. And like that conversation that they had where he's like, you dream in Korean, and that's why I'm learning Korean. I don't think he should have told her that. But where he's like, there's like a big part of you that I don't know and I can never understand. And that big part of her that he doesn't know and can never understand is flying in to see her. Like, how do you compete with that? I get it. I fucking get it. You can't say don't go, but you don't want her
So
to.
that whole bedroom scene hit so close to home.
Oh, tell me a story.
No, just everything you said is just my wife. I've asked her this before. She dreams in Japanese and English though, so she gets
Okay.
both.
Okay.
But there is like that is true that there's a part of me that I could never fully understand. And this goes for anybody in any relationship, really. But there's a part of you, if you're not part of that, your significant other's culture and experiences, you will never be able to relate to it in a thing like that. So now when you have a specific thing like her going to places or family, and I deal with this all the time. When we go to family things, it's her talking to her family. They're all laughing and joking, and I'm sitting to the side to where unless she doesn't translate for me or the Japanese that I do know, if I can't pick up what they're saying, I'm just sitting in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I felt really, really bad for him on that last scene when they were in that bar
Oh my
and she's
goodness.
having that.
Oh, but
Not only,
I'm sorry.
not the. I'm gonna take two parts on this. Not the whole intimate part of it. Just a simple fact of them speaking in Korean. So just imagine this. They're speaking in Korean about something, you know, the situation, and he has to just sit there because he does not understand what they're saying. And not only that, she says he's talking about you and he smiles. He does not know if that's good or bad. He doesn't know any of the details or anything else. So, like, that's where I felt bad for him. But also, I've been in that situation plenty of times, thousands of times where they're speaking and I just got to sit quiet in the corner because I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that whole intimate thing towards the end, that was disrespectful.
When she walked into his Uber.
No. When they were having that whole conversation
Oh,
side to side,
at the rest. Yeah, 100%.
I thought
100%.
that was whack.
I yeah.
Not only because now the way they were sitting face to face, you leaving your husband out. At least like if she was kind of like this so where they could see it, you're totally blocking this man out. You guys are having this intimate conversation.
Why are you
at
at the
least
bar? Why are you at the bar?
and not a table.
Right.
And then also like if it is this conversation, you're supposed to. Well, not supposed to. I would hope like if I was in the exact same situation, my wife will be sidebarring me these conversations. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Not have a full blown conversation and just be like, oh, he's talking about you. As you guys are close, you touch his arm and all this other shit. And I just got to sit there.
Got a whole conversation. So if you never left Korea, will we be together? Sir.
Right.
Sir.
Right.
Now, I thought it was funny. The movie opens with with that scene. You don't hear their dialogue. You hear somebody people watching, and they're trying to figure out what is happening. And then
like that.
They replay the scene, and then you have the context of what they're saying. And it starts off like, okay, this isn't a bit so bad, but it just slowly gets worse.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Like this conversation is helpful because like I did like the movie. It's just like I was not liking it because of the fucking second act.
Mm-hmm. But one thing, speaking of the second act, I have to point this out. When she went to that artist retreat, her bob was on point. Not a hair strand missing. That was down here. It was on point. That whole second, her bob was tight.
Okay. I just find it. No, yeah, I do. No, I just find it funny, like when they're like, okay, so this almost 40-year-old actor, we need to make them look younger. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just have them have a part down the middle and call it a day.
Hey, right. I'm trying to think. Also, that's one thing. I said it before, but I reiterate it. I did like how she was open and honest to her husband about everything, even to the point, remember they were in the bathroom and she was explaining, I like the manly part and everything else like that. I appreciate that a whole lot, to where good or bad, honesty, the best policy. Mm-hmm. There is no hidden agenda. So from her end, I was like, all right, I get it. He spoke the truth too. Great relationship. There wasn't no, he's saying that how he explained how he felt. She explained hers. Now, towards the end, when she walked her to the Uber, and they get closer, mm-hmm. And in my mind, I was like, don't kiss. Please don't kiss. Please don't kiss. Please don't kiss. Because if you kiss, it's going to fuck everything up, like the whole thing and everything. I'm like, right now, movie, you're doing what you're supposed to do, a real world scenario, whatever. If you do it, there's going to be like a movie, and then she runs away with him and blah, blah. But I was like, please don't kiss. Please don't kiss. But then also, the Uber pulled up. Now, if the Uber was 20 seconds
Right,
late,
right,
would they
right,
have
right.
done it?
Possibly, because there's
Right.
still chemistry. What made me kind of mad was when she got back to her husband and started crying. Because
Crying.
if I was the husband, I would be so fucking mad. I'm
Why are you
like,
crying?
well, no, you know why she's crying, and it's like,
well, yes, but I'm just saying, like, if I was him, why are you crying?
no, he knows why she's crying. That's what I'm saying. It's like, but you still gotta fucking console her. Like, I'm so sorry that you said that your
Love of
child's
your life is leaving, and now you're
right.
stuck with this guy, this American guy.
Your
Yeah,
weak ass husband. I'm not saying he's a weak ass husband. I'm just saying comparatively, like in your mind, you're a weak ass husband. Like
right,
I would be livid in that moment.
right, right. I was like, why did you have to do that? Like, you should have cried, wiped those tears away, then went home. But honestly, but then it goes back to them of being honest in front of each other.
Yeah. No, I really do like their relationship though.
Because then when they were talking about how when she was like, when they were talking about if it would have been a different artist during that time, would you would have been with me, or is your family won't this would have approved of this or whatever? And that's something I felt too, because honestly, if her family could have chosen, they wouldn't have chose me.
Right.
They would have chose a different Japanese person that
Or
can do whatever. They're in their culture and everything like that. But through time, they appreciate me because they know I love and I care for their daughter and stuff like that. So sure, when you were 12 years old or 10 years old or whatever, of course, this is not 9 times out of 10, the dream you had as a kid is not the dream you have now.
yeah, life never works out like from the blueprint you mapped out when you were 12. Because like I'm be honest with you, growing up, I never thought I'd marry a white person.
No, not at all.
Right.
I take that back. Maybe I did. Maybe I did.
You knew you marry an Asian woman?
No, not at all. Not an AJ woman. No, not at all.
No, I always thought I
Not
would.
being in Japan, Navy, none of this stuff is when you dream up as a kid. But you take what life gives you and you make the best of it.
Yeah, I always
And
thought I would marry a black woman, but look at me.
right. Down for the swirl. I pause just in case so you can edit that out.
No, I'll leave it in. I'll leave it in.
Oh,
But hey, no, you didn't say anything too offensive.
but like you said, overall, it wasn't what I expected. I enjoyed it. I really want my wife to watch this movie, and I want to get her thoughts on, like, is it going to hit her? Like, does she have a long lost love that I don't know about, and maybe hitting her up on Facebook or something? Because she changed her last name to something else. He can't find her. Who knows?
These are good questions, Matt.
Right. So I'm gonna I'll get the missus to watch this, and then I'll report back to what her thoughts are.
Cool. What do you think the Rotten Tomatoes was on this movie?
I'm gonna say something pretty high. Usually they love Korean dramas, and this is a pretty good one. So I would say 88.
Hey, so here's my thing. Like, yes, this is a Korean drama, but it's not. This is an American film.
Right. I know what you mean.
Korean people. 97%.
Ooh, nice.
239 reviews. Yeah.
That's a lot.
This was 93% audience score with over 1,000 ratings. So no trivia this week, but we got two little items I wanted to share. Despite his character's thick accent and broken English, Teo Yo, the guy that played Hae Sung, actually speaks very fluent English along with 3 other languages. And last thing, like Neong / Nora, director Cicely Song moved with her parents. Her dad being a filmmaker from Korea to Canada. She later settled in the U.S., started playwriting, and married a writer. So
She took her own life story and put it in there.
Yeah, but the way that that's written, and I know it doesn't matter, I wonder if she married a woman. Let's see here. Nope. Some white man named Justin. Okay. So truly art imitating life, huh?
Right.
All right, Matt. This is a good one. We had some fun. We chit chatted. Right now, time of recording, we're over an hour, but we got derailed on something that's gonna be a most likely a YouTube clip, not clip, but a YouTube segment. So that's gonna take some time out. But look at us getting some hours in, just you and me. Look at us.
We can do what we need to, as long as the movie's all right. If it's not good, then it's gonna be a fast one.
Now I'm gonna be honest. I was not expecting that much of a back and forth between us on the movie because I'm like, I don't know if I liked this, and then like I appreciate you not having the same feelings. Like, and also like I really didn't think about like how your life experience would play into how you read this movie.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna hit me like that too when he was talking about dreaming, and then he brought in a family, and I was like, is this about me?
All right, is this play about me? Ugh.
Right.
But thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusetotalkpod@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Yes, that's the thing. We have it. We don't use it. At We Used to Talk Pod. Follow me at Letterbox at BOW1213 and Matt at Mr. King 0257. Come back next week when we will do the first episode of October. And I'm trying to I've been thinking about this for a while and I want to do something a little different. We aren't going to have like a lot of horror movies in October. We've never really had a lot of horror movies in October. But I want to do something. These are normal-ish movies, but they all have some form of fear in the theme of them. So the first movie we're gonna talk about next week for October is
Gone Girl.
thank you so much. I was thinking Gone Baby Gone. I was like, that's not the name of the movie. The first movie in this whole theme of fear is Gone Girl. And if you've seen the movie, you have an idea what I mean by fear. So that's gonna be an interesting discussion. Can't wait to revisit the movie. And yeah, hopefully we have a nice, fun, spooky October ahead of us, Matt. Got
Yes.
some
Hopefully
fun
this
movies.
guest I have lined up will be a great one. I know
See,
you're listening right now.
okay, yes. I always try to avoid mentioning the future guests because sometimes they fall through.
That is correct. Sometimes they don't make it. So I won't say
Yes.
this person's name, but just in case they fall through. But we may or may not have a guest next week.
Right. It may just be me and Matt just talking about, the themes of fear in Gone Girl.
Right. And like always, I don't know if this is a good episode. I don't know if it was a bad episode. But whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.